that's kind of fun. I've never really thought, but I thought about it last night. I'm like, yeah, it's a great song. And I kept listening to it, and I'm like, God dang, this gets pretty repetitive.
So I can't do techno because I like it for the first couple seconds, and then I don't anymore.
I didn't get in trouble. I did. Someone yelled at. Well, it's one of those where I felt like I was right, and someone tried to tell me how techno is music, and I'm just like, stop. I mean, get the hell out of here. You go from Beethoven to Mozart to go to the blues in the 1920s in the Delta. And then you go all the way up to, techno is definitely pinnacle music. It speaks to you. I got in this whole diatribe. I said, so you're going to tell me that somebody's house music and their little beat drop is going to compare to, like, I don't know, a composition from Beethoven, or I don't know, maybe even a song from the Rolling Stones that compares to the music of any type of techno or digital music. I hate EDM. I can't stand it.
I need music that has a human touch.
If you're into it, that's great. Just for me, I can't do the vibrations.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I can barely. I can't even drive at night because the lights kind of kill me anyway. So it's not for me. Mm-hmm. I've never been that type of festival person. But just don't tell me it's music. Like if you want to say like Pearl Jam is a great band, I'll listen to you. Like whatever. But just don't tell me that any type of techno EDM is actual music. It's not. It's just not.
It sounds put together.
It is put together. It just
depends on what your definition of music is.
I sound put together every day. That doesn't mean I'm good,
It doesn't mean you're music either.
It's like, it's just, I think that's what bothered me. You watch the documentaries on how some of these songs came together. Like I watched the Traveling Wilburys documentary and how cool that was. And then it's like, all the time and the stories that, kind of made this piece. It was art. I mean, that's music. It's art. It came together. And then it's like, well, how did this composition get made? Well, I was doing a whippet and I thought it sounded pretty cool. And I just hit repeat a couple of times. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's how I feel today.
Yeah. I'm not a fan either.
I told you I wasn't. I started the day off. Sydney came in. Uh-huh. I started canceling. I started moving people back, and I said, because some of them were kind of serious interviews, and I thought, I want to feel good for this. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to give you a shorter, segment. So we moved them, and I brought Sydney down. Mm-hmm. Didn't tell her. I just said, we're doing blog talk today on the show, and she happened to be watching, and said, I guess I got to go down and work.
Oh, so she just found out because you said it on here. Yeah. Okay.
And I knew you were in here today, so I felt good. But man, I mean, I'm just not feeling it. It's like I keep going down the slide. It's not sick. It's a side of stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't even talk, but I just wanted to complain a little bit more today.
Go for it.
What the hell?
It's your show.
Okay, so now back to Lacy's component of the show, which makes it successable. Thank you for your contributions,
by
the way.
Me do this.
Wilbur, Theodore, Norton. Oh God, it's gonna be a long one. Norton.
Yes.
I had a little bit of a drawl or speech impediment there. I don't know which one it was.
You got through it.
3-term postmaster. Mm-hmm. So. Question right off the bat.
Okay.
I didn't know postmasters were an elected position.
I think it's appointed.
Oh, well, what? Like, I didn't know, like, Alton had its own postmaster, though. Like, did every town have one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Very fascinating.
During that time period. I don't know when that started or how it continued, but yes, he was a postmaster. Yeah. And then he wasn't for a while, and then he was a postmaster again for two more terms.
I've always found that so fascinating, like the postmaster stuff and just mail in general, like leading up until the 1900s. Like now it's easy, but like by ship and by like Pony Express and all that, and like how I just always find those roles so fascinating.
Mail is complicated.
It really is.
Especially, you're right, especially before it was, and it's still complicated in a lot of ways, but like before it was at all automated. I mean, you had to read everything. You couldn't just send it through a machine.
It's amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a real job. It just always fascinates me on what the postmaster did. It's just always been kind of cool. So, he was the previous owner and editor of the Alton Evening Telegraph.
Yes.
What did this guy not do? I mean, he's a Renaissance
and he
man.
fought in the Civil War for the Union.
Wow.
And
this is a true Renaissance
Oh my
guy.
gosh, he's incredible. He
love this. Wow.
He was a college student at Shirtlift and left in the middle to go fight in the Civil War and then came back and graduated in 1866.
Where's Shirtlift at?
It's where the dental school, the FAU dental school is now.
Well, and see, I knew what we were talking about today, but I didn't understand really, I guess, this guy really did a lot. I mean, he was an incredible man.
Yeah, he was on the Elijah Lovejoy Monument Committee as well. So he really did a lot in the community. So you wrote about...
I wrote about his death. And which is sad. The legacy he left is 10 times more important than the life, really. I mean, if you think about it from the hindsight being 2020, I mean, he did a lot when he was alive. Yes. But the history that he left, I mean, it's done a lot for so many people.
Yeah, and he was almost 81 when he died.
What a life.
It was a long life. He had a wonderful wife and children and good relationships with everyone in his family from what I can tell. And so it seems like he had a good one. And then his legacy, as you said, lives on. I mean, I've been using his book, The Centennial History of Madison County, Illinois, and its people, 1812 to 1912. And I want to say this. So it went through 1912 and he published it in 1912. So he was writing about stuff that was still very fresh. Wow. And he was writing about it and not painting any sort of like beautiful pictures where they shouldn't be. Yeah. For instance, the school segregation case had just ended in 1908. And so he was talking about it in 1912 and he mentioned like the Springfield race riots where a lot of African-American people were murdered in Springfield, happening right around the same time that the case ended in the Supreme Court, and how that was likely part of the reason that there wasn't as much pushback from the Black community when the schools should have been integrated and weren't. But that being one of the reasons. So, he was talking about really serious stuff right after it happened. And I think a lot of times historians, I do this, I get a little bit of distance. Well, you need from the things. A lot of people like the distance for clarity, correct? So you weren't in the thick of it? People like the distance for clarity, but also you're talking about the people in your community. Oh, that's true. So that wouldn't bother me. I just wanted more time just to make sure I was right. Oh, that's what I meant. And in that, he said, what I am taking from this is the information from the lawyer who tried the case, or like who brought the case forward, and the Illinois Supreme Court decision. So he started that chapter talking about that. And there were still, he sort of softened it a little bit. He talked about reasons why, people did certain things. But still, he didn't leave it out. He didn't just write over it. It had a whole chapter, and this was just 4 years later. Wow. So, it's just incredible. So he was also one of the first pastors of the First Presbyterian Church. His father was. Yes. Okay. Yes. But so, this was, he was, the family really was, I don't know how to compare it to, but it seems like he was a really big deal. A huge deal. Right. Wow. One of the things I really loved, this was from his obituary, and I just printed off this section, but it was talking about when he was in Alton in his earlier years. So he graduated from Shirtlift in 1866, and then it says after leaving college, he became connected with the Alton Telegraph, maintained that connection for many years, and then he left in 1890. But then later on, it says, Mr. Norton was editor and owner of the Telegraph during hard years for Alton, but he kept the newspaper together and going at times when it seemed that it was hardly worthwhile to do so. It was in the dark days of Alton when business was at a standstill and there was little to look forward to. It was enough to have discouraged the stoutest of hearts, but Mr. Norton had been so long with the Telegraph that he made great sacrifices and clung to the thread of hope that things would be better in Alton. Only people who lived in the city in that period can realize what gloomy prospects Alton had, and it required a stout heart to carry on. Wow. So I think it's really important to think about times when Alton has struggled in the past, and that there are people that have made this place move forward. See, that's a really good picture to paint too, because
we aren't going to talk about it now, and we won't talk about it for 5 years, but eventually 20 years from now, people will talk about it. And what I'm meaning by that is the folks that are keeping this district downtown alive right now, because it is not good. I mean, this isn't a gotcha thing. It's just like right now, if you ask any business owner, it's rough. I mean, downtown district is not what it used to be. And there's a few people right now that are doing all they can without, I mean, they know they're struggling, but they're getting through it. And it's like, it's just things like that where it's like the people that really said, you know what, I'm investing here. It's going to suck for a few years, or it might not be where I need it to be for a few years, but I'll get there eventually. And so it's really fascinating to hear this contribution to it on the media side, which, now in media, it's a little bit easier because things happen so much that we can always get content.
Right.
But from the other side of it, from the development side, that's where my mind just went to, was the fact that I just had a conversation with 3 people about how rough things are and how we're getting through it. And it's not a question. It's we're doing it.
Right.
It's just amazing. It's a great tie-in though. It's a very fascinating one too.
We had a lecture at the library last week as part of our Alton Area Landmarks Association lecture series that we do every year with them. And it was Dean Klinkenberg, and he talked about revitalization of river towns and what you have to do. He was on the show. Yeah, that's right. He said that it was a blast. He really enjoyed talking to you. But a big part of what he talked about was that it's small, incremental changes. It's the people in the community being dedicated to making things work, even if it's just in little bits and pieces. And it was really inspiring because I feel like a lot of us around here, I mean, you can point to some of the people that like, they're keeping this place going. And when you look at it like that, like you have to just dig in and be like, it might not happen overnight, but we're just going to keep doing what we need to do. And I find that really inspiring.
Well, and it's also inspiring to know that this, town isn't New York City of 20, how many millions of people are there? I mean, we have such a smaller region, not just the Riverbend region at large, that you can, as an individual that doesn't know anybody, could actually make change. You can have those conversations here. And that's what I think is so important too is, I mean, just like last week we talked about, who'd we talk about last week?
Oh, we talked about the Schweppe family.
I mean, anybody can truly be that prominent if you want to be around here. It's just about having the right conversations, doing it appropriately, and truly caring about the greater good. It's just so fascinating, though, that it still ties in today. That's so wild.
And a lot of times it is like tiny, and then all of a sudden it seems like a lot has happened, but it's been that work for years.
And then, 100%. Now, when I've just lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry.
It's my fault. I got to do it. I'm a little bit not as sharp today. Not as sharp due to the weird sinuses that are overtaking my body right now, and the downhill slide that I've been on for about an hour and 45 minutes now. But you're in the studio and you're making it better, Lacy, and I want to thank you for that.
Right, small increments.
But when it comes to this, so this Wilbur Norton. I mean, in 1925, whenever he ran the telegraph, what was the downturn? That was my question.
Okay.
What was going on?
Yes.
Was it the Industrial Revolution coming to a halt? Was it what was really hitting Alton when he was running the telegraph?
Well, we just finished the Civil War.
Gotcha.
And this is a little bit of library history, but after the Civil War, the library almost closed. So
really,
yeah. So we had started in 1852. A bunch of people came together. The public-spirited citizens of Alton is the direct quote, came together to create a library. And then after the Civil War, a lot of soldiers had checked out books and never returned them. And a lot of the people that had been dedicated to the library's success were then dedicated to the success of the Union, since we were on the Union side in the Civil War. And so a lot of attention was not placed on the library, and the Quincy Public Library almost bought our collection and took it down to Quincy. And there were 2 women, and I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but they came together, raised the money, and bought the collection at auction. The mayor had to put in the auction because they were women and they weren't allowed to do it themselves, but they had the winning auction. And so the library collection stayed in Alton.
Gosh.
So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's a story.
Yeah. There was a lot going on at that time. I think we were just...
That'd be a fun short movie to watch.
Oh, just about library history?
No. Just that, 30-minute, a 30-minute short, just about it, the library almost going away, and just that bidding process. That'd be fun to watch. Too bad I have no money for production.
Well, and it was another time when just a couple people were like, no, I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah.
And they did. And we owe them for that.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, was it just the falling out? Was it just because the reaction to the Civil War and the Reconstruction era hitting? Was that really what caused the downturn? Was there anything else that kind of added to that time period?
I am confident that there was.
But it's nothing that, like,
there's
no traumatic, like, what I mean is, and I'm not asking the right question, what is, like, there was no, like, massive collapse of City Hall falling apart and, like, the building no massive news story that led to, like, some major amount of money being allocated or taken away or anything like that?
I have no idea.
Because that's what I was curious. Like, was there? Because you just never know. Like, I didn't want to say like fires, obviously, right now because in LA you got those terrible things happening. But like here, was there? I always was curious. Like, what led to it? Was it just the falling out of the Reconstruction? Was it the reaction to the Civil War? What?
Well, I think we had a lot of rebuilding we had to do after the Civil War. But I also. That's the part of Alton's history that I don't know as well.
Yeah.
I really, really know the 1830s with, the city starting and Elijah Lovejoy and all that. Like, I know that part. I know the Civil War, like that era pretty well. And then there's this period of time, especially now that I'm working in like the 1920s a lot, there's this period of time between 1865, 66 and about 1897 where I don't know as much about it. And that's exactly what we're talking about. So
it makes sense. It's just so fascinating.
I'm not sure. I'm sure that there were things happening. I know that we were actually starting to have more industry around that period of time.
Because the Industrial Revolution was hitting then, wasn't it?
Well, like a lot more like automation of not exactly automation, but like I know that the glass company sort of like got really, really big in the 1890s.
Really?
I think because
that's interesting.
Gosh, now I'm gonna have to look all this up, but I do know that around the turn of the century Alton sort of got better again, but I'm not sure.
That's very fascinating.
I don't know if that was like a specifically Alton thing or if it was just like everybody was kind of recovering.
Right. Because the way the paper makes it sound is like and not saying they did a bad job, but just saying that it made it seem like maybe Alton was the town that was struggling, like where all the towns struggling that hard.
Right. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Like, was it specific to Alton or was it just a nationwide sort of thing? And I am not sure.
Something to ponder.
Because a lot of times when you hear about that, it's right after Elijah Lovejoy's murder.
Right.
Like, that's when Alton was struggling. But I think that we have struggled more than once. And we just kind of have to keep trying.
Keep on moving. We're going to take a quick break. Lacy ain't going anywhere. You stay there. I'll stay here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just want to fly. I just want to fly.
The whole kit and caboodle. 10:36, welcome back. Lacy McDonald in studio. Man, Sugar Ray was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, really are. I didn't know what Every Morning was about until I actually listened to the lyrics. And I'm like, man, he had a conniving girlfriend.
You know what? This is a really random thing. So I was in a pretty bad car accident a year and a half ago and got a concussion.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had to do a lot of speech therapy and training my brain and I listened to a bunch of audiobooks. And the weirdest thing was working on all that, really, because it was part of it was an attention thing. It was forcing my brain to pay attention to things. Now I hear song lyrics and I didn't before. Brains are so weird. I heard them, but I couldn't have told you what they were saying.
You didn't process them.
Yeah. And so now when I hear a song, and it can be a song I've heard a million times before, I actually hear the lyrics without trying to, instead of having to make myself. So it's a weird silver lining.
That's something.
It was weird when I realized that was happening.
Has it changed your life?
I now care about song lyrics more.
Do you like songs now that you used to hate?
I don't think I like songs that I used to hate.
So Bob Dylan's still not doing nothing for you?
Oh, I like Bob Dylan.
Oh, dang it. Normally everyone hates him.
Okay, here's my favorite part about Bob Dylan. This is just
what the hell?
What are we talking about music today? I like that it sounds like he ran out of things to say and then just started playing the harmonica. I like that he's just rambling on and he's well, out of words, harmonica time.
I just still don't know what he says. I'm like, yeah, look at you. Oh, damn. All right, back to the story. Why is this book so important? Because, getting back to the whole meat of this, I mean, really, his contributions were great while he was living, and it goes back, because I kind of said it, and I didn't mean it to sound so cold, but his longer legacy really was this, because without this, there would be a lot of forgotten history, I think, about our area. I think that the most important part about his legacy in this book is that you're right. It put it all together. Yeah. And one of the things, he wrote a lot of articles for the Illinois State Historical Journal, I think. There are things about Alton in lots of places. There are things about Madison County in lots of places. But this book really was comprehensive and put a lot of it together. Well, and not to cut you, but it was written by us too in this way. It wasn't a third party's interpretation of an area. Right. And he was born in Alton. Yeah, he was born in Alton in 1844. Right. And he was here the whole time other than when he was in college and when he was away in the Civil War. So he truly lived all this. It wasn't just him reading newspaper articles and then writing about it. He had those experiences. Well, and that's what it goes back to what we were talking about the last week or 2 weeks ago was, the interpretations of historians from years past, because that's where I think a lot of those issues come in, because you're writing something based on an article or based on somebody else's story or interpretation. And it's so cool to have somebody's own account. It's not Well, and I'm sure it's in there, like quotes are and all that stuff. I haven't read the book, but it's a lot better than, well, the Telegraph in the UK reported on this date in 1873 that there was a strike at this factory. You know, it's more of that hands-on. We've lived it. Here's what happened, and it's just the first-hand experience that I think is so important and value. And so honestly, it's kind of priceless.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of what I do with these articles.
No, because it's important to bring them up.
It's important to bring them back up.
You have to refresh them.
Yes, and you know, I try to give more context.
Yeah.
But yeah, he truly, like, he lived it, and he wasn't just trying to make Madison County look good.
No.
And there are a lot of books that are written by somebody from an area that highlight the good and maybe don't talk about the bad the same way. And
or they just don't even acknowledge it.
Or they don't acknowledge it. I mean, he certainly had bias. He certainly was a person of that time period, but I think he tried his very hardest to really tell the history of the area. And it wasn't just the prominent people. There are a lot of books like that where, I mean, we have some, it's like biographical histories of the prominent people in the area, which is good to have, but that's not the whole story. And so he really, and one of the best parts about his work is that it gives you a place to look. So like another thing that he talked about in the book is the woman that was brought to Alton, Amanda Kitchell Shavers. Shavers was her married name.
Is this him?
No, I couldn't find a picture of him. So
because that guy looks like a legend.
That might be his father. That's his father's book.
It's a strapping man right there in the day. I mean, he's got the hair back and everything, looking like a president.
No, I couldn't find a picture of W.T. Norton. I was disappointed about that. They didn't used to put like about the author with a photo in the back of books.
They weren't worried about sales.
Yeah. Maybe they were, but they didn't think we would care about that. But so anyway, he talks about the Amanda Kitchell Shaver story. And so you read it there, and then you can go back and like find the newspaper articles, find other accounts. So one of my favorite things about his book is that it gives you a starting point, and then you can go to the newspaper articles, go to the other things.
So it's still value. I mean, you still use it all the time. That is
I use it
really
all the
cool.
time. And now that it's been digitized, it's text searchable too. So we can just, put in a keyword and see if there's anything about that.
Digitizing was just so important.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I'm surprised there hasn't been more of like a federal effort to divert some funds just to start digitizing everything.
They actually have at the National
I don't know. I didn't realize
that. One of George, who works at the library with me part-time, and then he's at the National Archives for his full-time job. They do a lot of digitization now.
Do they for like communities and stuff that have like cattle? Because that's what my thought would be. I would love to see like the small towns that only had like not like us even, but just like we'll give you $20,000 just to digitize your archives.
There are a lot of grants out there. Well, there are grants out there.
Good catch there, Lacy.
There are grants that especially focus on smaller communities that wouldn't have
done that.
somewhere that can do that kind of thing. So like we are really lucky at the library that we have the capability to get a lot of things digitized. And we also take advantage. Like I think the University of Illinois is the one that digitized all the books that we're talking about today. We have them. We would have done it ourselves, but they'd already done it. So what we do is I send those links to our cataloger, Lauren, and she attaches them to our records. So that way Hainer patrons can see the digitized copy without having to leave their house.
Right.
And then we don't have to do work that's already been done. We can just use what the University of Illinois has done. Yeah. And then they get the views. So they can use that in their statistics. Right. So it's we try really hard to not duplicate work that doesn't need to be duplicated. What we do is really unique digitizing at Hainer. But I mean, there are so many other places that have done this too, that it's really nice that we can take advantage of that.
I'm glad to hear it. I want it all digitized.
I do too.
I want it all digitized. I really do. Because it's funny, not funny, but it's interesting. Like 12 years, maybe it was a long, because I'm almost 26. Yeah, 12 years ago, probably. It was before 2013 because I was Googling just old Alton photos and trying to find just old things of like McClure Street and all that. And it was hard. I mean, you couldn't find a damn thing. But all of a sudden, it just like when the digitization started, it really just opened up this whole new ball game, really. I mean, it was huge.
And also a lot of that was figuring out permissions.
Yeah,
because
I bet.
a huge part of digitizing is figuring out copyright.
Who has the rights?
Yes.
Yep.
And so a lot of what we digitize book-wise, everything we digitize book-wise is out of copyright. The photographs that we've digitized, a lot are still in copyright. So figuring out how to make that available for fair use, available for people to use, and still legal and all of that was a big part of what we had to figure out. And luckily, the Telegraph and Hearst and all of that have made that available.
Good.
We just have rights on all the pictures. So yeah, we have 6,000 Alton photos that you can just go look at, do whatever you want with, as long as it's for personal use. And those are available from anywhere. So that's exciting.
I like this headline. Civic leader of old days and city dies.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
His obituary was wonderful. I mean, like...
It really was.
It was so much... It was so complimentary.
It really was.
And
they
then,
loved him.
Yeah, the one that that the Madison County Historical Society put out, the resolution that ended with Mr. Norton. In the passing of Mr. Norton, the Madison County Historical Society has lost one of its best friends and advisors. Mr. Norton still lives with us in his books, and his exemplary life will always be a pleasant memory. And here we are talking about it in a pleasant way now.
There you go. Man, I still want to hear Bob Dylan. With that being said, what are you writing?
I am writing about the 1925 eclipse. There was an eclipse.
Did it cause like a whole revolt? Because did we know about eclipses back then?
Okay, so this was interesting. The 1925. What?
Because I can only imagine some people not knowing what the eclipse is. Like,
yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm in.
Even more before that. So the 1925 eclipse, even just, what science could figure out, they were about 4 seconds behind on when it was going to occur. And it was just a partial eclipse in Alton. It was at 86% totality in Alton. But in New York City, there was a total eclipse, but only over part of the city. And they miscalculated where. So it was supposed to be 83rd Street in North, I think. And it ended up being 96th. So I'm just imagining like all these people that think that they're about to be in full totality, and it's like 5 streets over.
Hurry up!
Yeah. But like, would you have even realized until it was too late?
That's awesome.
But then one of the articles that I used talked about the 1869 eclipse in Alton. And that, like, it had been printed in the newspaper, but if you didn't read the newspaper or your neighbors didn't tell you, you didn't know. And so there were several stories about people that had been lived in Upper Alton at the time, that talked about their experience in 1869 and how terrifying it was. Like, the sky just went dark.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
The sky went dark and they like ran home. Because they were terrified.
They thought it was the end of the world.
Yes.
But it's funny knowing the information we know.
Right.
But it's absolutely terrifying thinking that, oh my God, the world just ended.
Yes.
Because that's what they did.
Yes.
What happens when the sun just goes out?
Right. It was very scary. And just looking at how different that was from 1869 and then 1925. And then now, last year, we could all do a countdown on our own smartphones of when it was going to start.
I can tell you when the next one will be.
Right. It was incredible.
It's just, you're right though. I didn't think about that because it's funny, but for the people that didn't know a damn thing about it, it's no different than how a lot of us feel about anything we don't know about.
Right.
It's like, you put your hand in the dark hole, what's there,
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? We've seen those videos? Where they put like a balloon or they'll put like a piece of
peeled grapes or something?
Oh, yeah. But then, kind of. And then they're freaking out because they don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't like not knowing what things are.
That was my tie-in. It was a bad one. Not good! Okay, with that being said, Lacy, I'm excited to read this one next week. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Take a quick break. More Daily Show comes right around the corner on this Wednesday morning, right after this on RiverBender.com.